guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, CokiCreative. My name is Elena, and today we have another speed build. So this speed build I did quite some time ago. I think back in August, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I have been really behind on like my speed builds and stuff like that, but now that my schedule has cleared up, I'm ready to get back on it. I am enjoying YouTube lately a lot more than I was enjoying Twitch. I stopped Twitch streaming if you used to watch me and you're like, hey, where have you gone? I'm taking a break indefinitely, so we will see if I ever get back. I just like the controlled environment that YouTube offers. It's quite nice. For example, like Byron, my husband's schedule is like so random right now as the seasons change, since he works like in the outdoor industry. So it's really hard for me to know when I have the house to myself, and he's totally fine with me Twitch streaming. It's just like my office is also in the living room. I changed my living room around, by the way, so it's a mess, but just to show you guys. So that's my new setup. I don't judge me, it's a mess. But anyway, let's get to this build. So, anywho, this is my Strangerville house. In this house, I only use Strangerville and base game. So, obviously, I had two choices. I could make it either like a Victorian house, or I could make it like a bunker thing. So I went with bunker thing, more of like a scientist lab. Yeah, so that's what I went for. And one thing I really wanted to use was the telescope. Backtracking, when I started this build, it was one of these builds I did in between builds. If you build a lot, maybe you know what I mean. Sometimes you're working on something really big and you're like, I just need a step back. I need to do something different and fun that's small. So this is my different, fun, and small build. And I ended up really liking the way it looked. It didn't get a lot of likes on Instagram. It didn't get a lot of downloads in the gallery, but honestly, I don't care because it was fun and it was different and it was nice to kind of shake things up. So when I started this, I opened up a lot on Strangerville because I really love the lighting in this lot, and I was like, I'll just go with the flow. And this was me going with the flow. So once I decided what I wanted to do, use just the Strangerville pack, I decided to do like, yeah, this conspiracy theorist house is the best way I can describe it, which is perfectly themed for this pack. I wanted to use the telescope like I was saying earlier, and it's hard to use that telescope because it's so big. And this was before we got the Windows update. So I did have to use very traditional Windows. And anyway, so when I was putting the telescope in there, I wanted to make like this really cool dome, and I play tested it. It works. I was really pumped about that because I was afraid it wasn't going to work. And I really, really don't like sharing things to the gallery with big things that don't function. Every so often, I'll let like a chair slide. I'm like, you know what? That chair doesn't work. That bench doesn't work. No one's going to sit anyway. But when it comes to like things that your Sims like can do, activities, kitchens, living rooms, I like to have things function. But yeah, so I play tested it. It works. It looks cool too with the dome. When you are playing it, the dome or the scope actually like sometimes goes out of the glass, but like it still works. And you know, use your imagination, whatever. It's magic glass. So also one thing I really was annoyed by was the fact that when I put the dome on the rooftop, it, you know, takes away the ceiling above it, which makes sense because you want to see through the glass. But because I used the dome glass, it had the edges still showing, and I didn't like the way that looked, especially like using my imagination. If it were to rain, then your expensive telescope that you keep inside would get all wet, and your house would get all wet, water damage, whatever. So I put those little, I don't even know what you call them, but they're in the building section when you go to the outdoor. Oh my gosh, what am I saying? When you go to like the outdoor details, that's where that is, if you know what I'm talking about. So that's what I put around the dome. So that way it would like be inside more. But like I said earlier, I don't want it to like rain and get wet inside. But unfortunately those have like little holes in it. So just pretend that maybe they're glass in between. So Anyway, enough about that weird rant that you guys probably have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about the dome. Let's get talking about what I do with the landscaping here. I had so much fun. I love desert landscaping. It's something that I'm getting more comfortable with. And Strangerville has a great mix of like desert and also some greenery. So you can have a lot of fun with what you can do. So not only is it cacti, but it's also bushes. And I love the orange, like the dark orange dirt that they have. Like Oasis Springs has like this nice light orange, but Strangerville has this like gorgeous dark orange. I mean, you can see it. I'm obsessed with it. I think Strangerville is a beautiful world. I don't build it enough just because the lots aren't always like the best size and whatever, but the lighting's great, and yeah, definitely want to build in it more. But with this, I definitely wanted to make it look like, they don't have time for landscaping. They kind of want to keep people out. I put that big like tower in the back because, they gotta listen to things. They're conspiracy theorists, they gotta checking the tower. I don't really know how they check the tower. I didn't put any kind of station, but there is a lab in the basement, so we can just say that everything from the tower just beams down to the basement or to the desk that I put in the telescope room. But anyway, this is the second voiceover I've done today, so I do apologize if I'm rambling a lot. This video is a good 22 minutes long, so I have a lot of talking to do. And you have a lot of listening to do. Or you can put me on mute. I don't care. But anyway, I did still want to have like a nice little seating area outside. So I put that little space on the side because I knew that the backyard wasn't going to have any room. And I just put like a little bench out there. When I was doing the landscaping, I did want it to have some like patches of dirt. I really wanted to make it look patchy, I guess. Like these people, like like I said, they don't do landscaping. So why would they have perfect grass around? So I made it as patchy as I could. And I did edit out a little bit because I had to redo this. Because I can't be the only person this has happened to, but occasionally when I'm working on a build, I will go out of the game, whatever. I'll come back and then the game just deletes, just erases all my landscaping terrain, and it is heartbreaking. So sometimes that happens. It has happened to me recently, so they have not fixed it yet. Usually with terrain paint, it's not really a huge deal because I don't do anything like too crazy, but yeah, it was still really, really annoying. Not gonna lie. Then around the build, I put this fencing. I really love this fencing. And then like scrolling down just a little bit further, I found the one with the barbed wire and I was so freaking mad. So after this, I take it out of the video because you don't want to see me do this again. But I put the barbed wire one inside the other one, this fence, because I wanted the barbed wire. You can see the barbed wire there for a second. So I did end up putting the barbed wire in the fence so that way it would make me happy. So getting into some of the extra details I put around this build with the debug menu and whatever I could find with Strangerville, I put satellites. I put, what else did I put? Just random like pipes and whatever I could find. Strangerville and base game have a good amount of just random stuff like that, so I wanted to use a lot of these items that I don't use often. Like I don't usually do funky builds, but I enjoy them. I don't really know if I have like a set style, but I do love making weird builds like this, even though they, again, are not popular. Like I don't get a ton of downloads for these, but I do them for myself. So just like I do makeup for myself. Anyway, so I trust me, I'm not actually that weird. But anyway, I keep saying that. I use a lot of the Strangerville rocks, and I love the way the Strangerville rocks look because, again, they are that dark orange that I do love so much. And the exterior here, in this little seating area by the driveway, I put a grill because I always like to put grills out on the outside. Even in this conspiracy theorist house, they like to grill too. And then I put this little truck in the back and just some random other stuff. But in the truck, I don't think I did it yet, but I put a gnome in the truck. I do like to hide things in my builds every so often, like funny things, because I like the idea that someone might be playing in the build and they'll look in like a nook or cranny and they'll find like a gnome or something there. So I just like the idea of that. I don't know how many people actually like see or appreciate it, but you know, it makes me laugh personally, so I will keep doing it. And then every so often, you might notice that I do this. I try to edit them all out, but I check the way it looks in the gallery a lot. I'll click the, you know, upload button just to see lighting and, you know, how is the overall aesthetic look, because I noticed that if my build has better curb appeal, it will be downloaded more. So I check it often. Sometimes I might realize I'll put a tree in the wrong spot. I'll check the gallery and I'll move that tree. So if you are looking to get more downloads from the gallery, although it's not all about the downloads, just checking as you build to see what it looks like. And also checking the different times of day, obviously, is very important for getting more of those downloads, more of the DLs. I put some planters because I figured that these Sims would probably be into growing things. Maybe they aren't. I mean, you can always delete them, but I just figured that would be something kind of cool, especially like Strangerville with the plant. If you haven't played it yet, I will not give away the story, but it does have something to do with plants and them taking over, you know, making people a little crazy. So I figured that these people, they are aware of it, as you will see in the basement, and that's why they have a lot of planters. Now, the exterior probably took me just as long as the interior, since the interior is so small. Recently, I've noticed that my exteriors take almost as long as my interiors, especially in smaller builds. Sometimes the exteriors even take me twice as long, just depending on how I'm feeling that day. But I wanted to have like a good, just gray kitchen. My initial intention for this build was to be black and white and gray, but I have such a hard time sticking to a neutral tone palette. I don't know why. I love color. Even my makeup usually is bright and funky. That being said, my apartment is black, white, and gray. I don't know. I don't know. But my Sims builds, the second I introduce, like, I'll be like, oh, I'll put these chairs. I'll put these red chairs just as a little pop of color. And then from there, everything is red. Like, I'm like, you know, let's put this red, that red. I can't help myself. I'm sorry. I've got a problem with color. I can't stop. But I do like the red in this build. I don't know why recently I've been using a lot of red. I think it's because it is fall time, it's autumn, and the trees are turning colors, and it's just very warm. Red is a very bold color, as you can see my lips, and it definitely sticks out. So when it comes to like this conspiracy theorist house, I just felt like red kind of, it fit the look of it. I just felt like it was bold enough. It was like crazy enough of a color, if colors can be crazy, but I just didn't feel like a blue. Blue is too relaxing. Green, it just wouldn't have worked. I don't know. Red just spoke to me in this build, so I went with it. Especially with the fact that I just used Strangerville and base game. Base game has a lot of red, a lot of really fun red, funky things. So yeah, that's why I went with that. And again, the bathroom, red again. But I do like the way the bathroom turned out. I didn't do anything too crazy, but I still wanted it to feel spacious. This is obviously for, I would say 1 to 2 Sims. There are 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. The downstairs is a lot more, I would say is like the master. So they definitely would be like 2 scientists or 2 conspiracy theorists. I don't think they would be a couple because they do have separate bedrooms, but there's nothing wrong with having 2 separate rooms as a couple. This one upstairs, I was imagining to be the master at first, but then the downstairs one is way cooler. So just wait till you see. Possibly another storyline. This could be for 1 Sim, and this is the bedroom they use when they are using their telescope all day, and then the downstairs bedroom is the one they use when they are doing a lot of their science. No better word for that. Their experiments, all that. But I do picture more that they're for separate Sims, but you know, you can do whatever you want. And sometimes, like, I usually make family homes, and then I realized I was playing the game and I had roommates, and I was like, why don't I make more roommate houses? And there has to be other people that are looking for roommates. So it's something I'm trying to introduce more lately, because in my mind, Sims, I always think family home, bam, or for single sim. But I do want to try to make more roommate houses, something that, like, more variety, so I can help all different kinds of players and storylines and all that stuff. Another thing that I have started doing that I did not do for this one, and I should actually do it, is I make Sims to go along with the builds, just because I feel like when I start up a new game personally, sometimes I'm like, okay, what direction? What do I want to do? And sometimes I feel blank. Like, I'm like, I don't know what I want to do with this house. So I just was thinking, what if my account could help someone kickstart an idea? So for example, my last build was like this Halloween one, and I uploaded a like zombie Frankenstein's monster kind of thing with this build. And so if you want to play out that storyline, you already have the sim, you already have the house, you just need to do a money cheat to afford that house. But yeah, it's something I'm trying to do more, and it also helps to build the house. Like, sometimes it's hard to think of something creative, if that makes sense. Like, when I'm putting the little details in the house, which I really like to do, I try to think like, what would that sim be like? What would that sim see? How would they decorate? And so that's kind of, it helps me. So if you ever are feeling like stuck or whatever, and you are trying to build a house and you have an idea of the sim that would live there, like, build that and like make that sim. You don't have to upload that sim to the gallery. It just gets you a better idea of like what colors they're into and what style they are. Because I notice if I don't build a sim, I can picture them, but they always turn out different when I make them, and sometimes it's better, if that makes any sense. You'll probably like, she's crazy. Maybe a little bit, but whatever. But here's the living room. The living room is really tight. It's perfect for just like roommate sims. The whole house is pretty clean and organized, except for like I put a pile of stuff. It's a pile of paperwork and other kind of knick-knack stuff on the floor, and that came with Strangerville, because I figured like they're also kind of like mad scientists too, not just conspiracy theorists. So maybe while they watch TV, that's where they like, you know, like, oh my gosh, you know, they watch their YouTube videos on TV and write stuff down. This is chapstick, so don't write with that. I had a pen perfectly available right here. But anyway, another item that I got to use for this build that's super random is that thing in the bathroom, that divider. It is an unlocked item, so you have to use the bb.enable. No, you have to use that one cheat. You know, the cheat that unlocks things. I just can't think right now. So I use that, and I've never used it before. It is inspired by that movie, Space Odyssey, is that what it is? I can't remember the name of the movie, but I thought because of its origins and all that stuff, it just kind of worked with this build. So as like a divider, and I've never used it. And something I like to do is use items I've never used, just because it's exciting. Like, there are all these items I haven't used because I have no reason. And since this is not a traditional family house, I can use funkier stuff. So for the bedroom here, I'm trying to make like a custom rug, and it was taking a while. I end up actually going for it. Did it turn out like perfect? No, but it's different. And sometimes I swear that's like my motto for building. Sometimes it's like, it might not be perfect, but it's different, and that's cool. So I do like to make a lot of custom furniture by splicing things together. And that was just another way. I do like to try to make rugs. It's something that I have been doing since Sims 1, because I remember seeing it, like, I think the Goss house, or one of the houses did have like carpet in the middle and wood around to make it look like a rug. And I thought, oh my God, that blew like my 8-year-old, 9-year-old mind. So it is something I do every so often. Not too often, because I don't like the way it doesn't have a proper edge to it. But I tried to put that little edge with the small fencing, and it looked kind of cool. It looked different, and I mean, this whole build is funky and different anyway. So I mean, let's just do it. Let's try. This area right here, when you come down the stairs, is like a little entryway, and I imagine that door to be locked because they really want to keep people out of here. It's also upstairs to get to this like little ladder, you have to go through a bookcase door, and I love that bookcase door. I just never had to use it, so I was really pumped about that. And so I got to use that door to come down to this like secret area. So this whole area is secret, and I had so much fun building this. I had such a hard time at first, like before I started to actually put the items down. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I've never done this. But then I was like, you know, I'm just gonna go for it. And I end up getting the ball rolling. There are all these items I could use, and eventually, you know, I came up with this. I did have to edit a good bit out because I did switch around like the layout a bit. But what I imagine for this room is that they are aware of what's going on, and they are conspiracy theorists, but they are, you know, that it's totally fine because what they believe in is actually true. If you are familiar with the X-Files, think about, you know, the guys that Mulder hangs out with. I can't remember their name. Like the trio guys. I really love them though. It's been a while since I watched X-Files, but this is kind of like, I thought about them when I was building this house. So this is their area where they can, yeah, just do experiments. And so this bedroom is right off of there. So they are working on their experiments all day. Then they can go take a nice bath or a shower, and they can hit their bedroom, maybe work out a little bit and listen to some tunes on their little radio thing, their little jukebox, and enjoy their life. I mean, I feel like as playing standpoint, this is not a house I would usually play in, but it is a playable house. It has everything your Sims need. It even has like this funky little room that you can like take pictures in and do whatever your Sims want to do in it. Whew. All right, guys. We're nearing the end of the video, and I'm going to wrap up this voiceover before I lose my voice from talking too much. Not only did I record another voiceover today, but I also recorded 4 yoga videos, so I am pooped. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and my rambling. If you didn't, just hit the mute button. I'm so sorry. But if you did like this video, maybe leave me a comment, a thumbs up, and let me know what you think. If you really like this video, you can subscribe to my channel, but you don't have to if you don't want to. I do hope to see you guys next time, and I always appreciate it. Have a lovely day. Bye.